ulong ujingba makong santam jong kathan ste lammi ngi jong kari India kajing punmi ya ukhaw la panle da kabarep da kisbo maryang ba kathan ste lammi ngi kalong kabarius pa bha hakane kapenta wat la kathan kapunmi khaw henry kampala apat ban punmi ya ukhaw ba khambha ne uta ubaki ong uhai yielding varieties Hakajing penmi ya ukba kalong kebadan kampha ban penkre na kijing penjulor kamaryang kum kajing rang terkong kajing hap slap jur kajing slay bat kajing kriat sangam kumta ban pen bha shu ya kajing penmi kba ki rukom thung kba ki bathamai ki ba kat kum kajuk bamenta kum ka system of rice intensification lani SRI integrated crop management ICM in situ residue management aerobic rice cultivation bat kiwei ki rukom rap kba kila banyarap ban penne ya kakhandau bat ka bat don kam ban pen shai bat batai bha ya kini sha kinoram
The rice is a very important and staple food crop for this region. But if we see the productivity of rice in comparison to our mainland states is very low. Organic farming has very good potential and scope in this region, as organic farming also getting momentum in the worldwide, and there is a very good market, and the market of the organic rice and other crops is increasing day by day. But organic farming is very much suitable for this region. There are some benefits for that. First, this region is organic by default. If you just compare the input, that is the fertilizer as well as the pesticide consumption among the farmers is negligible, very low in compared to the other states. It's less than 3 to 4 kilo per hectare in Arunachal Pradesh, and in Nagaland it is 5 to 6 kilo per hectare. So farmers are already using very less amount of inorganic fertilizer.
Banrap yaukba don kam ban penkre yaga khandau dakbatti bha yaka bakanjam badon kam banchna yaki kenton kibaret banyada yaka jingtoj no ko Yaka khandau don kam banti pinjam bha hadu lai hadu sausien khnang bakan lai na kijingmi kinyot bat bakan la ban penne yaka
Maintain the soil water above the soil, so it's make a impervious layer so that water retain after the field. So generally we make the field prepare 10 to 15 days back after 2 ploughing, and at that time we have given FOM at the rate of 10 ton per hectare, and after the application of FOM after 15 days we generally pardon the soil and we also level the field, because leveling is very much necessary for optimum moisture conservation. So leveling also ensure that same thickness of water maintained throughout the field. And after in the process of leveling, we are also applying vermicompost. So vermicompost we are applying about 5 to 5 ton per hectare in the time of last paddling. So this vermicompost is generally rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium as compared to the FOM, and they give some initial nutrient to the transplanted seedlings. So here we have a institute has developed a very good variety. This is called Sasarang 1. This variety is about the Sasarang 1 about 140 to 145 days long year, and they have giving very good yield up to 5 ton per hectare. And generally in here we have just processed the transplanting in square planting, that in ICM or that is the modified SRI method. 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter spacing, that is the square planting, and 2 seedlings per hill. The seedlings age is 20 to 25 days old. So these early seedlings facilitates the better root growth, more number of tiller, as well as the better crop growth and yield. Generally it gives 15 to 20% higher yield. The crop is also mature 10 to 12 days earlier, and this also seed rate is reduced in comparison to the conventional method. Only 15 to 20 kilo seed rate is necessary, and this square planting also facilitates for cono weeding and also for the growing of the next crop, that is the pea. Now we are generally being a small narrow nylon rope, and here 20 centimeters spaced, just some mark is given, so it is very easy for the farmers to sow the rice seedlings at this mark plot 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter spaced. So this facilitates a very good line sowing, which just ultimately allow to run smoothly our cono weeder for weeding and growing the second crop, lentil, pea or mustard, very easily under furrow opener in lines. The soil is very much fertile. We have a organic carbon content is 2 to 2.5%. If we compare to the other area, just our UP or Delhi side, the organic carbon content in the soil is only 0.4. So we have a very good fertile carbon in the soil, and we have a huge biomass. The biomass may be weed biomass, maybe with a different crop residue, and here most of the people, they take cattle or pig or poultry as their household. So we have a very good source of manure that we can just generate to a very good quality compost or vermicompost using of earthworm. So these things input is very much important, and recycling of all the biomass is very much important for the organic farming. There is a technology called SRI, that is called the SRI method, that is using 12 to 14 days of old seedlings, one seedlings per hill, and in a square planting. But over the years, in our experiment under the network project of organic farming, for the last 10 or 12 years, we have seen that planting of very young seedlings, just 10 to 12 days old, in this region where in a particular instance there is too much rainfall, so there may be chance of uprooting of the seedlings, and farmers are also not so specialized to transplant the very young seedlings. So we have modified the system of crop establishment. So we have just give a name, that is integrated crop management or modified system of rice intensification. So this system is in between the conventional method, what the farmers are using, and the SRI method, that is the SRI method. In this method, we have used just 20 to 25 days old seedlings, 2 seedlings per hill at the time of transplanting, and the spacing is 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter. So in case of this, there is a very much benefit for this growing of young seedlings. If we grow young seedlings, the roots growth is very much faster and vigorous. That root can penetrate into the deeper layer of the soil, so it can take the moisture from the deeper layer. If there is no rain for 10 to 12 days, so it will be less affected than the conventional crop. The second thing is important, if we just sow the younger seedlings of 20 days old seedlings, just in that case, the number of tiller is increased. So tiller is directly related to the number of panicle. So it gives the extra 10 to 20% extra yield. Third is if we just grow the square planting 20 centimeter or 20 centimeter, is using the facilitates the use of cono weeder. Cono is a very small instrument that can used within the rice lines to kill the weeds. So there is 2 advantages of the cono weeder. First is to incorporate the weeds within the soil. In case of conventional method, farmers are taking the weed by hand and throw outside of the field. So one important resource they are wasting. But in case of cono weeder, they are incorporating the weed into the soil, so which in due course of time is decomposed. So that gives some fertility to the soil. And second, it also gives the aeration to the root of the rice, which is very much important for better growth.
Kajing Sara yakikba haki pentha bapelang la banle haki jaka kibako kapahu yak kandoru de ban kentio kumbasan hado 10 cm ka jingdrong bat iwei hado iwei 0.1 cm ka jingyar badon kamru yakinur hapdeng kini ki jaka banthungkba kajaka balapen khre banthungkba na kabentashi hektar kajaka kade banlong 1000 square meter nakabenta banyada yakakandau nakiknyang don kam ban khle bat ka khandau yakasbo we kumbasan spa gram hakashi square meter ka jaka bat udpei jong ujin tangkba blayap kumbashi spa gram hakashi square meter ka jaka bansara ya ukpa yakine dei ban khle hakapor bapin khre yakajaka sara hakajaka jongkasbo we la ru ban khle dakasbo lani etmasi kumbashi kilo hakashi square meter bachi spa gram udpei jin tangkba blayap hakashi square meter ka jaka.
The seedage is reduced by half. We need only 15 to 20 kilo seedage per hectare. And generally for 1 hectare of transplanting area, 500 square meter area of nursery is sufficient. So nursery is to transplanting area is 1:20. So we always have to prepare the nursery bed in little advance of the transplanting, generally 1 month previously. So we start the nursery preparation in the month of June in this part of region because we are getting enough rain from the April and May onwards. We just make beds in little bit height from the surrounding field, so there should not be any water stagnation in the field. Generally we keep 1 meter as the wide and 5 to 10 meter as the convenient length. So 1 meter wide, the person can easily just remove the weeds and also just uproot the seedlings. In a 1 square meter area, we use about 500 gram to 1 kilo of FYM and 200 to 300 gram of vermicompost. After that, we put about 50 to 70 gram of seed per square area, and after that we cover with 2:1 soil into FYM mixture. And generally seedlings are being ready within 20 to 25 days for the transplanting. We have to take care if there is no rain for 5 or 6 days, proper irrigation with just simply a rose can we are providing here. And before the day of the transplanting, if there is no rain, we provide some water so that the seedlings can be easily uprooted without any damage. And immediately after uprooting the seedlings from the nursery, we have gone to the transplanted field and we have to transplant because we cannot wait. So if we wait, then there may be some time taken for the establishment in the transplanting process. When we using very young seedlings of 20 days, the establishment as well as the performance in the main field is also better.
In nursery, while we will go to the nursery for their site selection is very important. Site selection means that nursery should be raised in a bit 10 to 15 centimeter high altitude. For that, why? Because if it is heavy rain, so draining of water is important. That means if the water will stagnant, then some rotting may be occurred or seedling damage may be occurred. Second is that place should be in sunny places, not in shady places, so that they can do the proper photosynthesis. Next is before 3 to 4 weeks of the seedbed preparation, we should incorporate 2.5 to 3 quintal per hectare neem cake, so that any insect pest, maybe nematode, maybe they will not attack to the seedling. It may use to the main field also.
Always you have to make nursery in some raised bed. There should not be some water stagnation near the nursery. Generally we used to prefer 1 meter wide and 5 to 10 meter length seed bed, raised seed bed. After thorough plowing and pulverizing the soil, we use the rice seeds to just simply sprouting over the seed bed and covered with FYM is to soil mixture. The cover is very much necessary to intact of the seed with the soil and also by reducing the bird damage.
Kapor ko biang banra tenra yau kuba kadai hakatayo ba ar jong naitung na kabanta ki jaka ki bashit bat ki bam rashit han. Hakapor bara sara dai bandapet ba ka jingshit jingkriat kam dai banduna hakapor bami shiloit kam tam ha ki jaka ki bakriat. Kumta ha ki bakum kini ki jaka ka jingra sara dai ban pendap hakatayo beningkong jong ujeliu.
This is sasaran seedlings. This is 25 days old sasaran seedlings. So this is we have taken out from nursery. Now before transplanting we will go for seedling dip. Seedling dip how we used to do, as I have told before, this one it is 5 ml. This is Trichoderma species. So from here we will take 10 ml. So this is around 5 ml. This is second time, that is 10 ml. And second we will go for Pseudomonas. This will act against bacterial diseases. So here also here also we will take 10 ml. Now we'll stir it nicely. After that the seedlings will keep for 30 minutes and that too in shade. After that it is ready for transplanting. This mixture, that is 10 to 15 gram per kg of rice seed. Second, when the crop means nursery is nearly 21 to 25 days old, then we will go for transplanting. Before transplanting, these biocontrol agent mixtures at the rate of 20 gram per liter of water, that seedling root dip should be done before transplanting, maybe half an hour. After that, we can directly go for transplanting.
Ban kampens bo shu ya kendo ya kinyut ba kijing thung bom don kam dei ban e ha ka kendo knang baking pot bat bakane kanyera ban penduna ya ka jingkles bo ha ka kendo arpos ni shwa ban ra tanrai dei ban khle kumba shipo hado khat arton kasbo pentha arspa sanpho hado laispa kilo unim ke dei ban khle ha ka por ra tanrai lane san hado 100 ton kasbo we dei ban khle arpos ni shwa ban ra tanrai but arspa sanpho hado laispa kilo unim ke ha ka por bara tanrai.
When we will go for main field, that main field should be means free from weeds, means maybe collateral hose and etc. Why? Because the insect pests and all, they will survive in the collateral hose. Later, when the crop will establish in the field, then they will attack to the main crop. And it is estimated that insect pests and diseases whole nearly accounting 50% of the crop losses to the farmer's field due to the insect pests and diseases. So if we can manage that insect pests and diseases, so this 50% we can recover and we will get the higher rice yield.
Kajingdon jangi knyang bat kijingpang hagi jaka bapendon kam da kisbo mariang kalong kabaduna bha omtang kata kajingthung ya kijingthung kibaile persha ikhyang jingpang kajing kelyang jingthung kapor bathung kajing yo kababiang kajingweng no ya kijingthung balabam knyang bat kiwei kiyarap banyada na kijingpang bat kiknyang.
Insect and pest management is also very much important for any organic cultivation, because in the inorganic type of any crop, inorganic growing, there is a lots of scope. You have lots of pesticide and fungicides available in the market. But in case of organic farming, your sources are limited. So you have to take a holistic approach before sowing up to harvesting, from preventing to just control. By organic meals, you need some expertise.
Proper monitoring and field sanitation is important. If the crop is infested with some disease or insect pest, so we have to destroy the infected parts and destroy properly, because the insect pests, they will lay their eggs in the leaf itself. So if we will not destroy it properly, so they may again generate more populations.
Ukba usdang ban I onda habauladon laipo hadu saupo sngi bat yaukba laban ot hadin plus tembha. Ukba ubadathung bat sumar bha dekisbo mariang ula ban pinmi kumba sau point san hadu san point san ton hakashi hektar kajaka.
If we see the organic farming in rice, the rice productivity is this area is very low in compared to the other states. Here, this is the mainland, just lowland ecosystem. Here, three ecosystem of rice is there. One is jhum cultivation, there is shifting rice. One is the upland, and third is the lowland. I am going to tell the organic rice production technology in the lowland. So generally, farmer here using rice, but they are also cultivating rice over the years. But there is scientific intervention is very much needed to increase their productivity as well as their income. If we see, generally farmers are growing rice here, they are planting 30 to 35 days old seedlings, generally, and they are only morely concentrated to take the only one crop of rice. But here we try to promote two crops, because this region, even after the harvesting of rice, there is very good moisture in the soil. So if we take care in the rice crop establishment method itself, we can take second crop like lentil, mustard or pea.
Kajingrap bashuti thleu ka khambha banya kajingrap ka bapo khandau namarkane kamdakta ya kamaryang bat ka ba e ya ki jingthung ban pot kayara ban pensbo ya khandau bat kayarap ru ban bat ya ko ha ka khandau ka jingthung ya udai ne motor ka pensbo bha ya khandau bat ka jingthung ya ukba ha ki ne ki jaka kanang khampen bha shu ya ujingthung bat unla ru ban penmi khambun ya ukba la jurap ha ubanai risau Hadian ukuba la jurab saya usumbai haki jaka barab kuba badyaw kuba bathung haga polyur la thung haga jingjingai kaba arpo centimeter na wei jingtung sha wei pan. Hadian bladap ot yaw kuba la bantung sa udai ne umator. Hashwa bantung yakine ki jingtung telang haga ne jaka thung kuba dei banda penrungat bha ya ka khandau shita yaw shwa bantung yaki. Habathung ya udai ne matoru dei banda don kinur but day ban bet yaki sembai haulan but satap da khando bla khle sbo pantha kumba ar la iwei ke jinkhle ban pinsbo bha yaka khando.
In organic farming, if you continuously grow only rice and rice, then soil fertility may be deteriorated over the years. So we always try to rotate with some legumes like lentil and pea. This lentil and pea not only give some additional income but also improving the soil fertility. So we have just experimented these techniques over in several farmers' field, and farmers are also getting better rice yield over the next year due to the growing of legume in the previous year. And this line transplanting over in the 20 into 20 centimeter spacing, which facilitates the conoider, and after the rice harvesting, it also facilitates the use of just small furrow opener. In the small furrow opener, we after the rice harvesting, with small furrow opener we have done, we put some the seeds of pea or lentil and cover with soil to FOM mixture. So in this organic farming, we are not using any chemical pesticides or chemical any fertilizer. We are mainly using the FOM. If the farmers have very good source of FOM, 10 to 15 ton per hectare is recommended for getting a good crop. This is the FOM, farm manure. We are applying in the field for rice about 10 ton per hectare, and this is rock phosphate. Generally in FOM, phosphorus content is a little bit low, so to supply the phosphorus through organic means, rock phosphate is permitted in organic farming. We are applying about 300 kilo per hectare.
Hakari jangi yaukuba la thong haki jaka ki bapher ukuba khambon sin udon kam ya ka sunbeneng ka bashet bat singam barukuba udon kam ya ka jingshet ka ba arway hado lai punyo degree Celsius baun he unsan hakapor ba punbait yaukuba ujing thong udon kam ya ka sunbeneng ka bashet bha ka khando ka balla ban bat bha ya ka bat ka badon haka ya ka do bertha kum joru ya kisbo maryang kalong ka ba tam na ka banta ban rap ka ba